Here it is, my first restoration project. It's a Porsche Cayenne GTS, which I bought from an auction site in Germany, just by looking at the pictures. I have no experience of this from before, but I hope, in this series, I will be able to bring it back to its former glory. Let's start by having a walkthrough of the car. I will show you the things that I know we need to fix, or I need to fix. There will probably be a lot more when we start this series, and I will hopefully be able to fix everything. Let's see, fingers crossed. But yeah, let's go, I will show you. One thing that needs to be switched out is the tire. I'm not sure if it's only this one or if it's all of them, but I would say it's best to take all of them. This one has a puncture, so we need to fix it. If we look at the rims, they are in a pretty good shape actually. I don't want to have them in that color though, and maybe a bigger one also. Let's see how that turns out later in another episode. The disc brakes, they're a bit rusty. I'm not sure if it's only because the car have been staying at the same place for a while without being driven. Let's take a look at that. I don't have a clue at all about the caliper and the brake pads. That's something we need to look into too. I can assume that the suspension also is a problem. I know that these cars with the air suspension, as this one have a lot of problems. That's something we need to figure out when we start it and drive it for a while and see if it can lower and heighten itself. This door is really bad. It's been somewhat damaged from an accident, I would say. Very rusty, and also the panels are loose. You can see some scratches also on the door in itself. So we probably need to buy a new door. The interior is also really bad. It's moldy at many places and it stinks. My daughter actually was in this car and she almost puked. She will never get into this again. So I need to fix that somehow. Also some leather parts that need to be fixed. It's also very greasy. Biggest risk with this car is the engine. Since I bought this on an auction site from Germany, the only thing I knew was it starts and it can run for a few meters. It's a V8, 4.8 liter, 405 braking horsepower, which is awesome, if it works. I noticed that there's no oil in it, totally empty. Same with coolant. There's also a reservoir, another one which I don't know what it is, that's also empty. And to me that's not a good sign. I hope someone hasn't driven it for too long without any oil or coolant in it. That can be a problem. So in the next episode we need to do a proper diagnostic of this engine and see if we have any errors. We will also do maintenance like changing spark plugs, oil filter, add oil to it. I think we'll wait a bit with the coolant. Let's see. There's also a thing with the exhaust where when I start the car, it's a lot of white smoke. I'm not sure if it's because the car has been standing still for a while, because it has. But I don't want to keep it idle for too long and see if the smoke disappears, since we don't have any oil or stuff in it. So that's something we also need to look into, if that's a bigger problem than just smoke. You probably wonder why I bought this car of every car I could buy. And I think the biggest reason is that it's a Porsche. I love Porsche. And it's also a pretty cheap one. It's too big of a risk to buy a more expensive one and try to fix that. I think this one feels good that I can fix it. I hope so. It was also very cheap. I bought it for 5,000 euros in the end. No other bidder, which was a bit scary because I thought, and I'm still thinking, if there's something I missed here. There's probably something I missed. And if you think about it, 5,000 grand for this one, it's a very luxurious car, or it was a luxurious car when it was released. I think the price back then was 90,000 euro or something, maybe 80. And now it's 5,000. Now, of course, it's a few things to fix, but if I manage to do it in a pretty cheap way, I can probably sell it for 13,000 euros in the end, which is awesome. So what's the plan for this car then? I would say I have a vision. I want to have it all black. Hopefully I can manage that. And I need to wrap it by myself. So remove the wrap that's on it now, the gray one. See how the white is looking underneath. Probably pretty bad. And then in a later episode I need to wrap it, or try to wrap it. We will also need to do some engine diagnostics, which will be in the next episode. We will probably need to rebuild the brakes, maybe also the suspension. We will do a really thorough cleanup of the interior. Hopefully we have a great car afterwards. If you have any ideas or thoughts about this project, please tell me in the comments. What do you think will be the hardest part? Maybe there's something I missed here. If you feel that this sounds interesting, this project, please subscribe to the channel, and I would love some feedback too in the comments. Just tell me anything you like. Next episode we will do engine diagnostic. We will also do some proper maintenance of this car. See you in the next one.